Hello, everyone, and welcome to another glorious 100% Super Metroid race here on SpeedGaming 2. I am Vincent RCA, and with me tonight is
Professor School. Welcome, runners. Here we are at the 100% tournament, our first race in the round of 32, and we're really excited to have you all here with us. Looking forward to a really good race between OatsnGoats and kashmod. So we had OatsnGoats coming in with a qualifying time of 1:15:24, and Cash came in with a qualifying time of 1:25:58. But with a personal best about 3 minutes faster than that. So hoping for a competitive race, especially in the early going here. And as I learned the very hard way in my race the other day, it is not over until done, and some really wild stuff can happen in 100%. So we will have to see how things turn out today for our runners.
Yeah, I was about to say, like qualifying times, they mean something to a point, but this game can be a brutal mistress, and anything can happen. You never know. So let's just hope for a good run from both racers, and enjoy some good Super Metroid from some very high level play.
Absolutely, totally agree, Vincent. Here we go, coming out of the obligatory series station. Nice job handling the steam here from both runners. We get a really nice D-boost off the tile from Oats.
47 for Oats. That's a really good exit time.
Yep, and a high 44 here from Cash as we go into the cutscene. We want to remind everyone to please go ahead and shoot a follow over to both of these runners. We have a lot of people in this tournament that are spending a lot of time committing themselves to 100% and racing for all of our enjoyment. So let's just go ahead and give them some love too.
So have you had any familiarity with watching kashmod run before, Professor? Is this going to be new for you as well?
Yeah, this is new for me. I just threw a follow over to Cash for the first time here. They are definitely a very talented runner. They've got I think a high 46 in any percent KPDR and a really respectable 122 in 100%. So we see the runners here going down through Parlor and making their way to their moonfalls.
It looks like kashmod is going for the slow crawl, the slow fall.
That does cost about I think it's, what is it, 5 or 6 seconds? I'm sure someone in chat can correct me. My mind is blanking, but certainly nothing that can't be made up in later parts of the game.
No, absolutely not. I already called. I was on a race the other day where the player who did not moonfall ended up making up the time by the time they got to Bontrizo.
Yeah, and certainly there are other high-level runners that do not use moonfall for very specific reasons. Certainly managing some of the boss fights can sometimes be easier without the use of moonwalk.
Absolutely, it just comes down to comfort and movement and what works best for the individual player.
Some nice movement by both of our runners through the first section of Blue Brinstar here, picking up their first item of the run and making their way back up to the Awakened section of Zebus.
And this is certainly an area, even just in this beginning, you can, with good, consistent movement, you can make up a lot of time. And as we enter the climb room, we got two different strategies here, where kashmod's going for the down grab strategy climb, and OatsnGoats has the wall jump. And really, that one's only separated by a couple of frames. That's not a huge difference. Not quite like the moonfall versus no moonfall.
Yeah, certainly that ledge grab behe climb is used by many top level runners, and you can get very good climb times with that strategy as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, even mentioning that it's, you said Behe, yeah, so even the world record time uses that ledge grab climb.
Okay, we get both of our runners into the bomb chorizo fight at the same time here. Nice bomb times for both of them. Let's see how they manage the often unforgiving RNG of the bomb chorizo.
Handled very well by Oats. I like his, he got the shot high enough that he's able to control how many missiles he picked up off the first drop. So it made it a lot easier for him to get a very quick kill on BT.
Yep, taking just a little longer there for Cash, but no big deal. Both at full health and missiles coming out of that room, which is definitely what you want.
How long did it take you to get consistent with Alcatraz?
Oh boy, you know what? Alcatraz is one of those things that I still have a little bit of fear going into every time. I'm not brave enough to try right side right now, but certainly it's one of those things that I always hope doesn't go wrong.
Yeah, I'm definitely not consistent with it yet. And it's one of those it's small things that you overlook, but it's deceptively hard. And you watch all these high level runners, and for them, it's a breeze.
All right, well, this is the part of the run where we're finally going to get our divergence from the other main categories, heading down into green Brinstar. We're going to do this mock ball here for the early supers. And of course, this is where we're going to start seeing some of the additional items that are going to need to get picked up on the backside of the early supers room here that are requisite in the 100% category. Cash going to be going for the Steam boost here as well.
And gets it.
Nice, very nice.
That's a slight variation too on how runners decide to choose and whether or not they're going to grab the reserve tank first. It doesn't really make a big difference, but just kind of a flavor thing. Oh, Oats gets out with that tight mock ball out of that room across the bridge.
Nice reverse mock there. Nice reverse mock. We'll see Cash try the same thing in a moment. Yeah, it's interesting. Zenny was actually talking about this recently in his already very long 100% tutorial, which is focusing on some general concepts of 100%, but is focusing specifically on the late croc route. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but he was actually going over the differences between whether or not to pick up that reserve tank or not. And it seems like he, Behemoth, and Zost have all collectively come to the conclusion that it is slightly faster to pick up the reserve tank first.
We saw kashmod. He unfortunately missed the reverse mock ball, which put him behind, but he did almost get the a version of the Mission Impossible, getting right out of there with those missiles, but unfortunately got a little bit hung up coming off the bridge.
Yeah, and we see here Oats is skipping the Danik missiles here, those charge missiles. It's a little bit faster to come back and pick those up while you're waiting for the power bomb to go off in the green Brin cleanup, which we'll see a little bit later in the run.
That's one of those things that players have learned over time, and just as this game's been run more and more, that there's those little bitty things that are still being adapted and changed and brought to the next level for higher and higher level play. And as we see, the world record continues to get challenged even now.
Yeah, that's right. And those little additions that my co-commentator very correctly points out, they really add up, especially in a category like 100%. I think I'm not exactly sure about late croc, but in the early croc route, there's 345 rooms, I think is correct. And even a few frames in each of those rooms, those optimizations really make a big difference over the course of a run.
Especially when when you're looking at trying to reach one of those PBs, just any of those time saves make a huge difference. Goes with a very clean missile across to get into Craid.
Yep, nice 3 super entrance there. Beautiful movement here, even getting that nice tight mock ball to ensure his faster movement into party room. All right, here we go. Oats entering the Craid fight, setting himself up. What you'll be seeing here is the Craid quick kill that Oats will be attempting. He's going to go 2 missiles and 3 supers.
Perfect execution.
Yeah, really nicely done there. And reasonable drops as well. I've definitely had some pretty unfortunate runs where I get either a ton of energy and I end up with very, very few missiles or no supers at all, and it can definitely create the need to do a little bit more management than you want right up the bat.
The runner's high five there in the room to Craid. And kashmod, now he's set up for this Craid quick kill.
Yeah, just a little bit of a struggle there for Cash, trying to get the D-boost into Craid twice just before that Ghidorah. Not a big deal, though. Nicely done. Both of our runners executing the Craid quick kill, avoiding that much longer fight where Craid rises up out of the floor. Can be a real pain.
Definitely adds a lot of time to run that you cannot afford in a race at this caliber.
Oats executing that nicely timed kill on the B-toms there, ensuring that he's going to have those 20 energy in his reserve to start. Oats is going to be running the late croc route, where energy management is really important, especially coming into wrecked ship. And most of the top-level runners are counting their reserves at this point, making sure that they know exactly how much they have in there so that they can use that appropriately when they finally come through wrecked ship.
So far, Oates' movement is looking very clean tonight. He looks like he's having a really, really good run.
Yeah, really crisp movement. I think both of these runners have been preparing quite a bit for this tournament. Oates specifically has been on the 100% grind for quite a while now, starting a few months ago, still with a 115, accomplishing the 114 not too long ago, and now pushing his time down even further, currently sitting at a 114.38. Which was good enough for third on the leaderboards, but we actually just had a little bop yesterday. Zost is back at the category now, focusing hard on this tournament, and just got a 114.25.
Yeah,
so we
those
have
four.
Really intense competition between those four.
Yeah, those four are doing some absolutely incredible. Like just watching the progression of their times. You know, Behe recently coming back in, but you know, Zenny's grind, where this time last year Zenny was PB, I think was like a 15:35, and now he's down in the 13 range. Just saying, and then Oates is, you know, one of the four runners in the world with that 114 or better time. It's saying a lot about where the progression of this is going and the skill level in general in the game. You know, even the required qualifying times to get into this round is incredible.
Yeah, now we see Oates is approaching the speed booster here. Both runners remembering to pick up that hidden item, those missiles down in the cathedral.
Yeah, that's one that, you know, if you don't run this category a lot, you almost never touch those. So it certainly is an item, if you don't practice 100%, is one you can easily miss.
We'll see how this post-speed farm goes for Oats, but his health maybe a little bit low, but his ammo is looking really good. Let's see what he decides to do here. Just the single farm. No super missiles coming in for Cash, and he opts not to use the pre-speed farm here. So I'll be very interested to see how the RNG treats him on the way out, how many farms he's going to need to do to feel comfortable leaving Norfair for the first time.
I'm sure we'll definitely see one or two farms happen there. At least one for sure, but maybe a second farm, just to, depending on how many, or if they get supers right out of that first one.
Yeah, I think that without the pre-speed farm, I'd be pretty surprised to see any less than 2 at this point, especially given the situation with the supers. And I'm actually not sure what Cash is going to end up doing here, not being as familiar with their runs with regards to early or late croc. We'll find out soon here in a moment.
Okay, got a much better farm on that third one, getting 4 supers, in good shape for ammo now. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what route kashmod takes as well. I know Oats runs the late croc run.
Yeah, we'll find out soon here.
With that early ice.
A few people are asking in the chat. We'll find out just in a moment. After Cash picks up these the wave beam here, then we'll see the decision about whether or not to go down a croc. We've got Sephi in chat saying Cash is taking early grapple. Not sure if that's a prediction or if Sephi knows. Yep, and as you mentioned, Vincent, there's the early ice pickup from Oats. We'll make a couple areas of the run a little bit easier with respect to Red Tower and a few others. Let's see if he can nail this ice escape. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. The speed looks good. Nice.
Okay, and kashmod is going the early croc route.
Yep, going for that nice Kago to keep his speed through that room. And now we'll see if the RNG and swipes are friendly here to Cash. I have to say personally, even though I'm much less experienced of a runner than a lot of the top runners that are using the late croc route, one of the major reasons that I avoided doing early croc in my runs is because of this fight. The RNG associated with it and then moving to grapple without space jump is something that I definitely wanted to avoid. Looking like a lot of swipes here from croc to start, at least 2 or 3 rounds already. And that's exactly what can happen here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's some pretty... The RNG, yeah, I agree with you. The RNG here and just what can happen in this fight. I mean, the late croc route can be a little bit more difficult initially, but once you get through wreck ship, it's pretty smooth sailing all the way through. Obviously, that spiky room of death can take a lot of people down in that route, but I think the speed saving is definitely worth it in the long run. But I know for some runners, it just comes down to taste or practice time.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what it does come down to. I think a few of the top runners have timed that out, and the number you hear thrown around is that optimally, the route that Oats is using now, the late croc route, is about 20 seconds faster. That does depend on a number of factors, including getting the Puyo ice clip, which we'll talk about a little bit later on the first try, and also getting a spike suit there at croc that you can carry with you to X-ray. But of course, there's a lot of other factors in both routes, and execution over such a long run is really important. And that's, I think, really what it comes down to in a category like 100%. Oats really nicely executing that beta power bombs room. That can be a huge problem if you miss that spark. You can really struggle with your health management going into wreck ship at this point. But so far, he's looking in good shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, strings and strangs, I gotta agree with you. Ice Clip is a cruel mistress. It can definitely make or break your run. Oats and Goats is going for that full ocean fly. Let's see if the shot came in time to open that door. Yes, it did. So that's one of my favorite tricks in this run, is watching that executed, especially because there's no just easy cue. It's one you have to get off a feel and timing.
All right, so we'll see Cash finish up his cleanup of the croc area here, picking up this missile pack, and then making his way back up that croc shaft as Oats approaches his second boss fight of the game here against Fantune. Nice blue speedball.
Yeah, that little mock speedball definitely, it's definitely good time savings there. Gets you right through there without having to wait on bombs. And now for what can be the biggest variance in time in the entire run is, how does Fantune treat you? I think every single race that I've commented on so far, first round's been a slow.
Yeah, it does look like a slow here in the first round for Oats. Looks like he got in 5 or maybe 6 missiles there to start on that first Doppler. Oh boy, looking like a slow here to get started here.
And looking like we're gonna have a third round. Yeah, I had a feeling off that first round there just wasn't enough. I think he missed one of the missile hits and made just enough difference in time. So he's gonna have that third round. Thankfully, the third round was not also a slow.
Yeah, I didn't get trolled by that that late round slow pattern on the right side, fortunately. But I think I agree with that decision. You know, if Oats thought he only got 5 in on that first Doppler, it's really risky if you don't think you can get that extra one in on the second round. And if you go for that super missile and you enrage Fantune, that's a really, really big time save, certainly more than accepting a faster mid in the next round. So I think definitely a good decision there, especially considering that he was down to just about 50 health at that point. Not sure what Oats has in the reserves now. I've not been counting.
Yeah, that's definitely a tight decision.
Look at that. Beautiful from kashmod. Sorry to cut you off there, Vincent. I just wanted to acknowledge that incredible strat. I love that up and 1 in the red tower. That down grab on that top of the ledge there is just wonderful. Beautifully executed by kashmod.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was just great movement. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, both of these runners really showing off their skills and showing what's possible with these categories. Or these routes, rather, I should say, the 2 different routes that they're running. All right, well, as Cash makes their way over to wrecked ship, here comes Oats, just approaching Spiky Room of Death. Let's see how things turn out. Opting not to go for the morph instead, going for that early deboost. Really nicely executed.
Of course, the key is just living through that, because obviously here you get this E-tank. So health coming through that first time is obviously important, but realistically, with the next part in this run, your health coming out of Spiky Room of Death is extremely important here on the way back, and as we set up for that Gauntlet spark once we get to Criteria.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Vincent. Well pointed out. Again, the management is going to be important here, going into that spark. Let's see how Oats handles it. Opting for a mirror of the strat he used coming through, really beautifully executed there. And now we see those grapple
nice
strats.
Clip on the way up from Oats.
I'm not actually sure if that's faster or not. I mean, I'm not one to question one of the top runners, but my understanding was always that in 100% the clip wasn't necessarily faster because you have spacer. But maybe someone in chat can correct me. I'm certainly always interested in learning about this.
Oats successfully gets through those robots. Obviously, that's a big time save there, as you can get caught up on those. That can eat up a lot of time in these runs. The wreck ship is probably one of the most. The wreck ship and Meridia, those two areas in general can absolutely eat up time just with any misstep at all.
That's right. Yeah, very technically demanding areas, and Oats managing to clip through those robots in both directions. That requires a really nice use of iframes while you are moving in the opposite direction of the robots. They're moving towards you, and you move back through them.
Kashmod is setting up for their Fantune fight, and
it looks like to be going for X Factors here. As a KPDR runner in any percent, that does not surprise me one bit. This is definitely where Cash is going to be very comfortable using those X Factors. Oh, going for the hybrid strat with those two missiles. I really like that. I've never been able to pull that off myself. I just opt for the charge shot first rather than those missiles.
And a nice 2-rounder there. All right.
Yeah, really, really nicely done.
Well executed.
Yeah, Asher, it does look like that was a mid-left. That is definitely a very rare pattern. I think in my calculations, that's somewhere in the 0.2 or 0.4% chance of seeing that pattern. And Cash right on top of it, anticipating anything that might come their way and doing a nice job to take care of that. I did miss, let's see how it goes here. I was focusing on Cash's Fantune fight. I did not see whether or not Oats was able to get some of those shots in on the robots.
He got both.
That's, there it is.
That's obviously another huge time saver, and not that it's a huge deal, but also saves all those missiles that you don't have to worry about on that run.
Yeah, nice job flushing those robots. Saving a little bit of health in a couple places here. You'll notice that when he was going for those sky missiles, Oats was able to get the speed strat rather than the shine spark, and then did a couple wall jumps there up into that backside of wrecked ship reserve tank in order to save a little bit more health as well. I think it saves about 20 health or so. If you spark right from the ground, it's a flat 40, and you can get that down a lot lower as you climb up the right side there.
Oats almost gets that mock ball through to those missiles, which is, to me, that's another one of those just like awesome swag strats when you see runners nail it.
Yeah, just firing on all cylinders today. Oats really putting on a wonderful show for us. Now here we'll see another example of the benefit of having that grapple early on, not having to worry about some of those bomb jumps. Oats going for what was a very risky strat with just the single bomb jump. Timing on that is really tricky. Of course, having grapple totally eliminates any of that from this wrecked ship E-tank.
And here we're going to see how well Oats counted on that reserve tank. As we get in here and get ready for this Gauntlet Spark, it looks to be in good shape.
Yeah, so Oats going for that door wrap shot there to make sure that this door would be open on the left side of landing site. As you can see, you got it open. You can actually hear that. There's a nice audio cue to let you know if you got it. Got his health just right here.
And he is going to get the Gauntlet Spark on the back end of Gauntlet.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of sparks on the screen now. Oats pulling off both of the sparks in the front and back end of Gauntlet, and then on the right side of your screen, you're seeing Cash pull off a nice spark of Attic, a strat taken primarily from KPDR runners. Really nicely done there. Only problem with that is it will take your health down a little further, but with the extra E-Tank, it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever for Cash to manage their health. And very importantly, Oats able to get both sides of Gauntlet there. It happens to even the top runners. Sometimes you just have a little hiccup there with some of those quick drops, and fortunately, Oats able to get through without any sort of problems.
Yeah, just even one bad little moment there, you can fall through and have to wrap back around. I know that actually happened at AGDQ, where Zenny had to wrap around that second time, unfortunately, and that was... but we did get to see him pull off both back Gauntlet sparks in that run, so there was a bonus to it.
That's right. Cash also opting not to go for the diagonal shine spark there for the sky missiles. Really nicely executed. The timing on that speed trick is definitely not the easiest, and also managing to escape from the maze missiles without any problem at all.
Yeah, and it goes back to that conserving health and making sure that resource management is happening, especially at this part of the run. But here is the advantage of that extra E-Tank, is kashmod is able to shine spark across that room. The downside is that means he is going to have to go clean up the robots with those missiles he's carrying, rather than getting those charge shots.
Yeah, and there's actually a really beautiful side-by-side comparison. I'm not sure if it's posted to the speedrunning wiki, but it was recently discussed on the Discord. And you can see that, sure enough, even though the Shine Spark gets you through the top part of bowling there much faster, you do wind up in a situation where you have to clean these robots up, and it does end up being a slower room that way. But that robot flusher strat is not free. There's a lot of precision that goes into that, and if it goes wrong, especially if you're a late croc runner, it can go really wrong, and you can lose a lot of health, not just time, which can be really detrimental. So definitely a risk-reward, as with many things in this game.
Well, absolutely, and definitely a big part of this game in general is there are a lot of different ways to run this game, a lot of different strategies you can choose in every single room. Oh, and Oats gets the nice Mission Impossible missiles there, gets cleanly out. That's definitely a time savings of a few seconds.
Chabo pointing out in chat that the robot flush may actually not be possible with wave only. Yeah, that's something that I'll have to look into. I'm not familiar with the details of the early croc route. Certainly having wave only can make some things more difficult. For example, the wraparound shot that we did for the door going into Gauntlet is definitely a much, much tighter window with wave only as opposed to Spazer. Here's the backdoor spore spawn super block shot from Oats, allowing us to completely skip the spore spawn fight. Only available in the DLC in certain routes.
Mainly shows up in that the all bosses category. That's about the only time you see it, or if you run the supposed kill category.
That's right. That's right. And we saw the any percent all bosses in our most recent multi-category tournament, but not here.
No, not so much here. That unfortunately, kashmod catches that spike on the way in with that shine spark, but definitely has enough to still get the Gauntlet spark on the way across.
Yeah, should be enough without any problem. We'll see how it goes here. Might actually gonna need to dip in reserves here. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough escape out of that room. Cost him a little bit of health.
Ideally, it's somewhere in the range of 230 to 235 energy that you need to get that Gauntlet spark. You can move that spark over a little bit further left and reduce the amount that you're going to need. Oh, this is going to be really tight. I'm not sure. Let's see. The health going through the door is 90. I think that's going to be. One set of blocks early.
Oof, oof, oof. That got a little scary there.
Yeah, nicely handled and now out of danger, collecting that backside Gauntlet E-Tank. In the meantime, we have Oats, who just is finishing his cleanup here of Brinstar, and did a really nice clip to leave the waterway missiles coming out of that charge beam area. Going for Blockbuster now.
And
That looks good. Yep, fantastic.
Kashmod is going to collect those. Back side of Gauntlet missiles. Has the first pack successfully. And no problem for the second pack.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Cash is breathing easy now, surviving Gauntlet there and managing to not have to go back through Gauntlet for any reason here. So can put that part of the run behind them and now focus on their green bring cleanup.
Yeah, I can imagine their heart was racing a little bit there with the with their health sitting at 29 and grabbed there, hoping
yep.
to get out clean.
Really beautiful short stutter 3-tap there from Oats to get those Main Street missiles in the fastest way possible. Really beautiful strat there.
Oh, and Oats is headed to Mama Turtle and about to go in the room that kind of became a funny race between he and Zenny not long ago, where they were going back and forth and seeing who could get out of that room the fastest.
Yeah, we'll see him flex some of those fish tank strats just in a second here, I'm sure.
If anything, that those two going back and forth about that, it was great, but the best part of it was just showing that two great runners, how difficult room strats can be, and just even the best, they can just have one little misstep and then making a huge difference in time and how they get through the rooms.
Nicely executed D-boosts here from Cash as he approaches the Etikun power bombs. Those Etikuns, they're going to try to teach our runners how to wall jump, but these runners are fantastic. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't need any help from those Etikuns.
And that was really smooth in Kashmod. Didn't entered in at the perfect height. Very well executed.
Now, here's another section of the game that's not often explored. Going through to the Oasis here and sort of the upper side of Meridia. You often see that sort of thing is, oh yeah, beautiful movement. Look at that.
Oh, for sure. Getting through that first jump clean, getting up onto the top shelf to get through the door in one jump rather than having to waste any extra time. Very smooth movement by Oats.
Cash unable to get the Mission Impossible strat there, but we'll be able to come back around the other side here and rejoin the normal route in Big Pink.
And Oats just got that nice mock ball out on that return trip, which is another tight strat and one that definitely requires pretty precise execution.
Yeah, and then following that right up with the moonfall down Crab Shaft there, as he makes his way towards Botwoon. The one obligatory mini-boss in the early part of this category. Before we make our way to Lower Norfair later on, we'll see the Golden Chorizo fight.
Great first round. Quick, very fast kill from Oats. Hits that X Factor perfectly.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of the top runners now are definitely opting for that decalled X Factor strat as opposed to one of the visual or audio cues that you can use, which used to predominate in the Botwoon fights. Really nicely done. Now going for the full halfie across Coliseum.
Beautifully executed.
Yeah, just a real treat to watch both of these runners. Hey, remember everyone, give them a follow. They've worked really hard to get here, and we're seeing quite a show from both of these runners here. Really top level stuff going on. Oh gosh, we've got calls of chain damage going on in the chat. Let's keep that to a minimum, both for the sake of our runners and for our commentator, who.
Yes, we never want to see that again.
Horrible mishap in the last round for yours truly. No such thing with Oats. Brilliantly executed, nice job, and opting just to use blue suit and exit the room here, as opposed to trying to pick up that double frame perfect spike suit. Really, really beautiful textbook fight from Oats, though.
Yes, and that we all know that bad things can happen there, and watching your run was heartbreaking seeing that happen.
Someone is asking for a clip of the chain damage. I actually have it saved on my desktop. I'll pull it up for you. And there's Keku apologizing. Keku, it's okay. It is okay. Oats nicely using that blue suit to get quickly back across Coliseum in the reverse direction. It's actually not as fast as it is in some of the other categories because you are picking space jump up here. So you can do that womple jump if you don't manage to get that blue suit. But nicely executed there by Oats, really just saving time in every possible place right now.
Very nice execution coming out with that blue mock ball. Saves a little bit of time dropping through the floor there rather than having to go around.
That's right, and Cash, not being one to be outdone, also manages to nicely hit that stutter 3-tap for those Main Street missiles. I definitely opt for a safer strat in races. I'll go for something more aggressive in a run. In a race, I go for a 2-tap from higher up. But Cash not being dissuaded, going right through there and nailing that trick. Now heading into Mama Turtle. Now you see Oats re-equipping Ice. This is going to be important for a trick coming up that is obligatory. You'll see Oats is entering the Shack Tool area where Spring Ball is located without the grapple beam. And we'll need to execute a very precise Puyo ice clip here. Oh, look at that textbook! Absolutely textbook.
That was perfect. That was clipping that room worthy. That was. I don't know if you can execute that room much better.
Yeah, there's a number of different setups that you can use for that ice clip. Some of them try to standardize aspects of the shot that you need to freeze, or the speed that you get on that space jump. Oats going straight forward in the fastest strat that I'm aware of, and absolutely nailing it. Really, really nicely done.
Now let's see if he uses this other quick time savings you can get here. Yes, he does. By shooting that snail and turning around immediately, it aggroes that snail to come at you and clips a couple of those blocks a little bit early so you can escape what is normally just a timed delay, but by aggroing that snail, you get out of there just a little bit early.
Yeah, really nicely done there. And picking up a lot of people's favorite item in the game, Spring Ball. We'll see some real art in motion strats with the Spring Ball here coming up.
For me, it's pretty close between Spring Ball and Speed, just because of the Speed allows you to hit some of the cooler strats, or like the harder, some of the sweeter strats, but the Spring Ball's the most fun strats. Obviously, Spring Ball. My favorite trick that happens with Spring Ball is if a player can execute that Spring Ball baby skip.
Yeah, and we'll see if Oats opts to go for that in this race. I think he has been maining that recently. All right, now we'll see the full beam upgrade. Oats now grabbing the plasma beam and giving him the most powerful combination of beams seen in the main part of the game here. A nicely executed moonfall here from Oats, leaving Cassius room. That's going to do a nice job to fix that door transition there.
kashmod also quickly gets through making short work of Batwoon and moving on to Dragon. Let's see if he can get that full halfie.
A really nice reverse cack alley there from Oats. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I have not followed much of kashmod at all, but can't be surprised at all by this performance. Really nice any percent time and really great times in the qualifiers. And Cash is pulling off a lot of these really tough tricks, really putting on a nice show for us together with Oats.
Yeah, it goes to what I was saying earlier, just watching the way the runs in this game in general have gotten better and better and better, and there's been more competition amongst the top runners, and we're seeing a lot we're seeing some newer faces join the category, and they're definitely doing a fantastic job of executing a lot of these difficult strats. And obviously the biggest part and the hardest part of this category is consistently chaining it together in a run that's an hour plus long.
Yep, neither one of our runners suffering the Professor School fate, doing a really nice job finishing off Dragon, and also opting for no spike suit here as Cash going straight for that quick exit, not collecting those drops, and picking up that space jump.
I hope we just don't change it from... I hope that's not the name of it moving forward, that we don't call that the Professor School moving forward.
No, I think that's happened to plenty of other runners. I don't expect to take any credit for being the first person to have such a devastating thing happen in a tournament. We hate to see that, though, and really most of the big choke points have been passed here by both of our runners, so hoping to see a nice clean race all the way around.
Oats is going back to visit that Craid area for the second time to clean up that one item that you need the power bombs to reach early, but obviously this route does not pick those up until later.
Yep, that's right. My co-commentator referring to a slight modification of the late Croc route in which you can actually go up Red Tower very early on, but not actually go in direct ship, pick up those power bombs, and then only make one pass here through the warehouse, and you can actually pick up those power bomb locked missiles. But most of the other runners choose to just pick those up a little later, which is what you see Oats doing here.
Yeah, not long ago I saw Zost and Zenny both testing out that route of grabbing the alpha power bombs earlier and coming back down, but it definitely they've changed in favor of the pick those up on the way to wreck ship instead and come back for that item later.
And as kashmod is going to go through their cleanup here of Meridia, Oats doing a nice job to not have any issue whatsoever with those crumble shaft missiles. Definitely do not want to fall all the way down that crumble shaft, and instead be able to head straight into the Croc Speedway and then make his way down towards lower Norfair, and what a lot of people arguably say is, I think I'd have to agree, probably the best soundtrack in the game. best single piece of music.
You know, as a musician, this and Final Fantasy VI are definitely two of my favorite games for music in general. Just the soundtracks are great. Oats gets a great deboost into that first lava room, cleanly up through there, and is headed down to Lower Norfair.
Yeah, really nicely executed chronic boost there from Oats. And Cash, as we saw on the right side of the screen, not having to worry about any sort of Puyo Ice Clip, just using the grapple there to easily make their way around. And now they get to play around here with Shaq a little bit. You get the snail, the little aggro snail there for that slightly faster room exit. Yep, and now we'll have our second mini boss of this 100% category as Oats drains that acid, nicely airballs over, what are those? They're not Geemers, gosh, I forget what they're called. Making his way over and making sure not to miss these GT missiles. That is not a place that you want to fall down. Along with Gauntlet, is definitely one of the biggest time losses that you can have, missing those missiles.
No, I think this one adds this one's, I think, worse than Gauntlet. I think it adds a full minute onto your run because you have to wrap around.
Yeah, and Oats able to abuse a funny little trick that we've learned here, picked up one spot of complete invulnerability in that fight against GT, and able to just comfortably sit there and spam off those plasma shots, which will double hit for 900 each time, 1800 each time you shoot off that beam. Pick up the screw attack, and then make his way up towards the main section of Lower Norfair here.
Yeah, we're seeing the advantage of that full beam combo in this category, this run, of how just easy and short work you can make of a lot of the enemies, and then especially, of course, pays off in the Ridley and Mother Brain fights down the road, and how much fewer shots it takes to get through those fights. Oats gets the Mickey Mouse missiles for the aptly named room.
Yep, and nicely makes his way back through. Crumble Floor did not reform there, and he did not fall down. Nicely executed again. A couple people in the chat asking about different routes. That's right. So on the left, OatsnGoats is running the late croc, late grapple route, and on the right side, Cash, as you can see, already has grapple. Made a trip down earlier to take care of Croc and does not need to worry about that section of the game later in the run. So we won't see exactly how far apart the runners are until after the routes reconverge, and we'll be sure to point that out when that happens.
We still got a little bit of time before that.
Both runners on great pace right now. I think both at or at least very close to their personal bests in this category. We are really getting quite a show from both of these runners today. Very
Absolutely.
impressive.
Well, and just seeing great executed movement all the way through.
Yeah, another nice example of that there from Oats. Nicely executed Fast Pirates. Didn't quite get the full speed screw attack going all the way through the Flower House room, but makes his way into the Ridley fight without any problem. The Ridley fight is a really interesting one. This is one because of all the extra ammo that you have in 100% that depending on your super count coming in, you can use the full beam combo, or as you see Oats doing here, you can actually use a combination of beams and super missile. something like 12 plasma shots and 12 super missiles, or 14 plasma shots and 9 super missiles. And runners will decide exactly how they want to handle that based on their super count and what they feel comfortable leaving this fight with.
Well, and another factor is how quickly you can get him locked into pogo, which allows you to take a lot of those shots faster and really speed up that kill in that fight.
Yeah, that's right. Ridley always can be one to screw you around a little bit with his RNG, but absolutely no problem for Oats here, managing it well. Super count is a little bit low right now, but there's some places where he can pick up some supers and farms coming out of Norfair. In the meantime, we'll see Cash making their way back. Oh, what a beautiful strat. Cash getting that nice angle down super, and then the beautiful spring ball strat into warehouse to return for this set of missiles. That is really something. This lower Norfair escape obviously made much easier having screw attack. Oats just flying through those key hunters there. No problem at all. And now going for a damage boost off this energy tank, and is probably going to be aiming to land on top of that frozen firefly there, and sure enough gets it. Nicely executed. It's the fastest way through the lower stage of that room there after you get the E-tank.
Now Oats is going to be heading up to the attempt the Hodarubi with this mock ball, seeing if he can...
Oh, that looks good. I think that might be good. Let's see.
That was good. All right.
Nice, and got both of the blocks there too, which is really nice. In the meanwhile, on the right-hand side of the screen, because of the route divergence, you see kashmod now picking up the ice beam much later on.
Of course, interesting.
Go ahead.
Hodarubi is actually back into running and is in this tournament.
Yeah, I have to say that one of the big disappointments for me losing in the round when I did was Keku, having won that match, now has the great privilege of playing Hodarubi, and I have to say I was really looking forward to an opportunity to face one of the real legends in our community. I know that there's a lot of folks that really have studied a lot of those runs that Hodarubi set, I think 12, 13 years ago now. So to see him back, yeah, that's really special. We'll remind everyone that the tournament is continuing over the course of the next several weeks, and to continue to tune into the SpeedGaming channels here for the continuation of this tournament. This is just the first game of the round of 32, so a lot of good Super Metroid 100% left.
I've just been in, it's the downside, there's a lot of downsides to this COVID time. The plus side has been the amount of gaming is ramped up, the amount of these tournaments has ramped up, and we've seen some from the multiple categories tournament earlier this year to this is running. There's an any percent that tournament that's also running. There's a lot of great content, and a lot of runners are coming back to this game, and a lot of new faces on the scene as well. It's great to see this, the level of play just get better and better and better.
Yeah, a lot of runners, not just the ones who made this final 32, but everyone who was in qualifiers. A lot of people working really hard and trying to grind down their times. I was super impressed by so many of the members of the community for coming out for this tournament. So hats off to all of them for sure.
Oats gets that Bubble Mountain D-boost across to collect those missiles, and now he's on his way out.
Yeah, and for those of you asking, so here's where the bit of route divergence is going to come to a close. Oats now making his trip down towards Croc's lair. We'll be able to very rapidly dispose of Croc. Definitely one of the benefits of doing this late Croc is you have the full beam combination, and if done correctly, you can execute this in a single beam.
This is definitely the huge advantage of doing it late, is that you get to just watch poor Croc moonwalk back. His Oats moonwalks back on him.
That's right, and Oats also able to make sure that he grabs that E-tank before the screen scroll started. And now going for this spike suit. This is definitely one of the consolidation attempts in going for this late Croc route. Going to give it one more attempt here. Unfortunately, looks like not able to pick up that spike suit. It's going to make the trip through X-ray just a little bit slower. We'll still have that space jump and screw attack, but unfortunately, not being able to pick up that spike suit will cost a few seconds there.
Yeah, it's a very difficult trick to execute consistently.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. It's not just getting the spike suit, but that it's carrying it all the way through to X-ray. And picking up that specific spike suit is just a little bit more tricky because you have spring ball equipped at that point. So you can't use jump to unmorph. You actually have to tap up and then switch to jump in order to engage the second of the 2 frame perfect inputs. So it can be really tricky picking up that spike suit with spring ball on.
Kashmod is now making their way down to that Ridley fight.
Yep, and Oats cleaning up here. A couple missile packs to pick up before heading back out. Oh, and I love that strat there, picking up the super drop off of that one enemy with the grapple before heading back down out towards these Croc missiles. Oh, and there's that beautiful mock ball and spring ball strat going to those Croc missiles too. That's a really nice one there. Ash doing a nice job cleaning up those metal pirates. Getting that Plower House strat too, really beautiful. And making their way over into Ridley. While Oats goes ahead and farms both of those CACs. I mentioned earlier there were some spots to farm super missiles, and Oats definitely wants to try to increase that number here to be able to do some of the faster strats heading into Tourian.
And Oats is now exiting Norfair for the final time.
A little bit of trolling going on here for Cash from Ridley, but with this full beam combo, the fight's not going to be going on that much longer. Oh gosh, Ridley, please.
Ridley's RNG can be very, very tilting.
Yeah, now we see Oats entering the long X-ray hall here. This is the place where if he had held that spike suit, he would have engaged it to quickly get across this room. Instead, opting for a little speed keep there to try to speed up the space jumps across that room as he comes down to pick up X-ray. And we'll remind folks in the meantime, don't forget to follow our runners. Really putting on a nice show for us here today. Oats going to be going for this reverse slinky here, I imagine. Let's see. Nope, but easily cleaned up here with this nice space jump strat to go up into the final bit of the blue Brinstar cleanup for those last few items in the lower part of this section.
Kashmod's now heading down to that Fireflea's room.
That's right, and as Cash is making their way out of Lower Norfair for the final time, we'll see Oats going up this shaft here and making his way over into the Billy Mays room. You get a pack of missiles, but wait, there is more.
There's more. Oats nicely executes that mock ball to enter this room, which saves or grabs a little bit of extra time. I've seen that's a strat I've seen a couple of the top runners trying to execute. It's sad to know that in not too long there will be plenty of people who don't even know who Billy Mays was.
Yeah, a generation gone. Maybe the people in this community will keep it alive.
Well, at some point, people are going to wonder, well, who's that room named after? Just hopefully it makes it out in more of the community instead of just the Super Metroid community.
Oats does a nice job storing that shine spark off the elevator and then doing a nice standardized buffered spin jump to make sure that he gets right down into those old Mother Brain missiles. That can be a really tricky one, not only getting into those, but then making your way back out. Those are some really tricky one-tile wide gaps that are not easy to navigate. I know that Oats is making that look easy, but by no means are they.
Oats is now making his way to the last item we collect in this run, affectionately known as 230 missiles, as that is our last missile pack.
Yeah, that's right. Usually picked up as the first missile pack in most casual runs, and then often one of the earliest rooms checked in a lot of randos, but here in 100%, optimally picked up as the last item before making your way over to the Golden 4.
As we see the cash mine now coming through that Frog Speedway, ready to exit Norfair and head up and hit that same cleanup. Oh, it's having a really nice run.
Yeah, I mean, really impressive by both runners. I think Cash is actually ahead of their PB pace right now, and seen in chat mentioned a couple times, look like Oats is pretty close to that. It's a 1:08:14 G4 time. So a few minutes behind here by Cash, but really, really impressive run for them so far today. They've pulled off some really remarkable tricks. I'm very impressed. We're seeing plus 23 for Oats at G4. Thank you, chat.
Okay. Of course, how for the PB, it's kind of based on how good was his Tourian in that PB versus how good of a Tourian does he run now, because this can make or break the After everything you've done, you get into this last few minutes of the run, and it can make a huge difference in time.
All right, so with this lower super count, we'll see how Oats chooses to deal with some of these Metroid rooms. Oh, getting nice drops there in room 2, though. Getting those 3 supers from the 2 Metroids. Yeah, fairly friendly RNG so far here. Let's see how this last room 4 goes here. Not exactly the full array of supers that you'd want to do the fastest strats going through to Mother Brain at the end, but still a reasonable number. We'll just finish off the rest of that Mother Brain 1 fight with the plethora of missiles that he has at his disposal. Oh, and Cash also going for the reverse linking and not getting it, unfortunately.
That's an extremely difficult trick. Oh, looks like Oats got eaten up by the baby here.
Oh boy, yeah, it looks like he just missed a single tile there on those vines, and that just stopped him from getting through on that otherwise very perfectly executed spring ball baby skip. Cash now very nicely laying that power bomb in the last spot that you can lay it to open up all these blocks here, and collecting this this task tank here, the taco tank. Make their way up to the Billy Mays missiles.
Now kashmod will exit this Billy Mays room, grab the 1 extra pack of missiles, and then head out to Old Mother Brain. Right as Oats is getting to the first phase of the Mother Brain fight in Super Metroid. No soft locks here, clean and ready to go.
Yeah, nicely done, and we'll be able to breeze through this Mother Brain 2 section with the full beam combo. Just 20 shots necessary, and at the 16th shot, that's when you start looking out for those large red ketchup beams. Nice wraparound shot there too from Cash opening up that door, coming out of the back end of Blue Brinstar there, and storing a shine spark under the elevator.
Yeah, that's nice. When you bring that shine spark to the elevator, it does not affect the timer, so you can carry that all the way up there and get the shine spark across Old Mother Brain room.
That's right. Now we're seeing those catch-up beams there, and now you're going to watch as Oats damages himself down to just above 700 health here, and then waits for this rainbow beam from Mother Brain.
And now we'll damage the rest of the way and finish getting this. Ooh. Little extra onion ring action there, but now we'll be able to get the stand-up glitch.
Yeah, there's a few places in this stand-up glitch here that you see Oats executing where you have to remain off the floor, or the game will force you into a crouch stance. One of them was right there as the baby appears on screen and grabs Mother Brain to drain her health. Another one will be coming off here when the baby detaches from Mother Brain. Nicely handled there by Oats.
The advantage of this glitch is that you get to damage Mother Brain through this phase where normally you'd be stuck on the floor, and it makes this fight go a lot faster.
Yep, that's right. You do have to manage this properly. You want to make sure that the baby is able to fully refill your health as Samus, and make sure that you keep getting these onion ring hits in. It takes a full combination of 10 of those onion ring beam hits, before the baby can free itself from Samus, and then you can proceed with the backside of this Mother Brain 3 fight.
As we're watching that, kashmod's movement in the last part of this run, getting into Tourian and headed to G4, this is some great movement going on, just proving that he is climbing the tier of great runners in this game.
Yeah, I've said it a few times already today. I'll say it again. Super impressed by kashmod's movement. Just really executing very well throughout most of this run.
What did you say kashmod's PB was?
I think it's a 122 4x, somewhere in that range. It ran a few minutes slower in qualifier, but I believe is still about 30 seconds ahead of their PB right now. A nice blue bomber strat there from Oats in this escape sequence.
Yeah, looking at the time they enter G4, it does look like they're still on that pace. So Oats is still going to have a very nice race time here as he gets through that climb room the last time with the Behe Spark.
No problem whatsoever. And now we'll see how kashmod handles their trip through Tourian. A lot more super missiles, so they can really go all out here for these strats.
Yeah, no worries about the drops here.
Yeah, and a really nicely clean room
great
one there.
Second room.
Holy smokes. Yeah, this is just great stuff from kashmod.
And Oats is done.
Yeah, Oats finishing in first place with an official SRL race time of 1:15:56. GG's to Oats. And just beautiful Metroid rooms there from kashmod. Really, really nice stuff.
Absolutely. That was great execution through every one of those.
Yeah, I think we all dream about having Metroid rooms like that. That was really, really nice. Yeah, that's hard. You know, you get to this point, and even being behind in the race, Cash is far ahead of PB pace, and it is definitely a nerve-wracking experience. And being able to keep your nerves under control and execute in all those rooms, that is really fantastic.
kashmod does get safely out of there and is headed down to his Mother Brain fight now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. He dropped a frame or two there for a second, and I couldn't tell if he got grabbed by the baby or if that was just a few drop frames. But fortunately, making it through.
I was
really
also
nicely done.
Really worried that maybe he got the glitch where he ended up slow afterwards, and hoping that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's definitely a big time sink there. You can save that by saving and resetting the game, but certainly you didn't want to see that. And just checking in on Cash's stream, it looks like they did not have Baby Skip in their PB because they are now a full minute ahead. So
wow,
this is a really, really fantastic run from kashmod here.
Now finishes that first phase of the Mother Brain fight, on to phase 2 with this. Again, we see that the power of the full beam combo in these 100% runs.
Yep, and so as kashmod goes to the end of this fight, we're going to just wait for confirmation on Oats' side of the screen here as kashmod damages down. Yeah, nicely executed there, staying off the ground at the necessary times in both places at the start of this stand-up glitch.
Oh, that's funny from Oats. Okay. I think that's a kind of a liken back to a run not long ago where Oats had a run, he finished, walked away, came back, and it turned out to be a 99%. I'm gonna switch over to kashmod's audio. So congrats to Oats for sure, but let's continue to watch kashmod through this escape. And kashmod's PB was in the 2-minute range. So with a good escape, we'll hopefully have a PB here. Oh, gets caught up in that shine spark, but
Yeah, and so now Cash wrapping up this run. Really nice. Almost a full minute ahead of PB.
wow.
GG to kashmod.
GG. That's phenomenal.
Yep, with an official SRL race time of 1:21:54. Improving their SRL race time by 1 minute and 15 seconds and just a little bit under that for their PB. Really, really nice race.
This is just a perfect example of the how much the quality of running and the upper tier, how much it's gotten better and better and better in the recent times. And we'll see if we can get the runners into chat for some commentary or for some questions and interviews afterwards.
It looks like we have Oats in here. Oats, welcome in. Congratulations, GG on the run, and really nicely done overall. How do you feel about the race today?
It felt pretty good. There wasn't any large mistakes that would kind of spook me for going into low matches. I played well. I kind of chunked up the Metroid skip a little bit. I just missed the blocks.
Yeah, it looks like one tile maybe on that final shot that you missed there. Otherwise, you would have gotten through cleanly.
Yep. Other than that, it was pretty clean. That would have been close to a 114, and yeah, I was happy with that. It was overall pretty good, and yeah, I look forward to the races coming up.
Yeah, the movement looked really crisp all the way through for you, and we've got Cash joining us here as well. Cash, GG's on that huge PB for you. Nicely done today.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a okay run to start with, but then on my big time saves, like I had 30 seconds on my gravity split, 35 on space jump. I managed to bring it all back, and baby skip, of course. So
yeah,
good.
GG Cash. That was good.
Thank you. Yeah, good job to you. That was crazy run.
Yeah, very nice job for both you, Cash. Definitely congrats on that huge PB. Oats, congratulations on the win and moving on in the tournament. I know it's been watching you get back into the 100% grind has been great to see. You know, and now with you and three other runners in the world are the only ones who have cracked that 114 time.
Yeah, and only two with the 113, so I gotta be the third here to crack that. That's a tough challenge, but we'll see.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, when we were watching the run, there's just so many small time saves that can happen, and just even seeing one little misstep can cost seconds. Like not getting that. The spike suit from Croc is obviously a tough one to get and save every time, and that one can certainly you'll probably need that one for the 113.
Right. But yeah, a lot of good runners coming through, and look forward to the next round of matches here. That was good.
Awesome. Yeah, everything looked really crisp today from both of you. Thank you for a great race. We'll remind everyone to follow our runners. Oats, Cash, anything else that you'd like to add here?
That's about it. Thank you guys for commentating. Congrats again, Oats, and good luck.
Thank you, and congrats on your run. And sorry I had to do it dirty to you, Kashmod. But and yeah, good luck to every runner coming up in their tournament matches here. Thanks.
No, Cash, I'm sure you're very happy getting the huge PB tonight and doing it in a race, which anyone who runs knows that in a race, it's hitting your PB time in a race is very difficult because you're thinking potentially a little bit more conservative at times just to make sure you're able to successfully complete it. Where in the PB, you're going to take a lot more risks that you might not take in a race.
That's right. All right. Well, OatsnGoats, you are on to the winner of looks like White Mage Becky and Azulino TO3. So good luck with that race. Whoever we get, will be excited to watch it. And good luck in that round of 16 and for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you, and thank you for commentating again. See you guys.
Our pleasure. Have a good one, Notes. Have a good one, Kashmod.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone. Want to thank my co-commentator, Vincent. This was fantastic. I had a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone in chat. Remember to go ahead and follow those runners. And anything to add here, Vincent, as we close out the stream?
No, I'm just looking forward to watching as we get further in this tournament and watch these players with better and better, with closer and closer times as we get to the end. We've already seen some great runs, and seeing a PB tonight and Oats' great run, it's just going to get better and better as we get towards the end of this tournament.
Absolutely. Well, for my co-commentator, Vincent, I'm Professor School, and we will see you next mission. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, folks.